minimum. This is the water drip zone. That's why I keep moving things away.
Yeah, that's why you gotta put a cup here.
Extra.
Natural rain.
17 hours.
What's the high point and low point for this week?
Okay. Two major high points. Let's start with the milder one. A group of CEOs from Mumbai confirmed that they want to engage me to do a supercharge for them. I craft something so that they all get to achieve their goals. Part of it is deeper conversation, going to uncomfort zones and all. And it's going to be a 4-hour session, end of the month. The other high point is a friend of mine who is a therapist wanted to try out a new self-help method he created, and he wanted me to kind of be the guinea pig and see if it, how effective it is. He knows it's effective, but like how effective. And I agreed, and major discovery. We went back to my childhood, talking about my childhood, not regression or anything, but just went back to my childhood and discovered that because I grew up with, my first 13 years, I grew up in my grandparents' house and surrounded by uncles and aunties. And I pride myself being a person that they can depend on. They'll, I run their errands, take care of the kids, and, I took so much pride in doing that. However, that actually gave me an identity now that I'm a dependable person. If you call me for help, I cannot let you down. It's a what do you call it? Two-way sword or what? Whatever. I want to say two-sided coin, but but it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword in the sense that it can work for me and it can work against me. Well, what works for me is very obvious. People just know that I'm dependable. What works against me is when I didn't feel good about doing something, I would still agree, and then I just kind of suffer and continue to do it because I want to be the dependable one. It was an eye-opener for me, huge, and I thank him for it. Like all of a sudden, the vision of myself changed, the narrative I tell myself changed, and wow. And I said, "You're good." And he looked at me through the Zoom. Yes, I know I'm good. So he gave me the method, he explained the method, and he said, go try it on yourself. There are a few key things that has to be in there. Go try it on people, and all I ask is you give me feedback on how it turns out for people. So I'm excited, and that is my big high. Tell me about what is your high?
Thinking. Oh, right.
It's just so good, man. I don't understand why you don't like it.
I'm talking. Pay attention, please. That's what you get in a relationship. Sometimes you ask a question and you don't really care what they say. Just like I was fixing my camera, I asked her a question. I didn't hear anything about what she did.
You did.
And it caused problems with relationship. The other hand is you pretend that you're listening, You know. So anyway, joking. So, yeah, I have started my 100-day writing program. The goal is in 100 days I will have finished my first draft of my next book. And I had first deadline yesterday, Friday, and I realized that it's not just about writing. And the reason why it's high is I completed it, just to cut the long story short. And it's a high because it's my first deadline. And one of the things I realized is it's just not just about writing. I like this program because it has a structure, and the structure is every day I get an email from the coach to remind me, to trigger some thoughts in me. And the thought this week was, how many words you think you want to write your book? And again, to cut the long story short, it was not captured earlier, is that I finished writing my first deadline this Friday. And he said, you got to decide not how many pages you're going to write or how many chapters you're going to write. You got to decide how many words you're going to write in your book, because printing, font size, and everything could be different. So because of that, I had to work on how many chapters that I have, which is I have 21 sections of my book, subsections of my book, 3 key major sections. Within each section has 5 subsections. So I not figure out how many chapters, but to determine how long the book is, I had to make a decision how many words there was going to be. So I figured that it'll be 42,000 words. And the moment I came out with that number, everything makes sense, because I could take 42,000 and divide by 21, which is the 21 sections, and automatically I know roughly how many words I will write per section. But more importantly, I will divide by 14 weeks, which is how long this program is. So every week I need to write 3,000 words. So yesterday I was up to 1,800 words. It wasn't enough, so I had to go back and keep writing. Normally I will write in the morning and then I'll stop in the afternoon, but this time I had to go back and continue writing. And somebody bought prawns, squid, and a whole bunch of stuff, expecting the chef to come in and cook aglio olio and all the good stuff. But the chef have a deadline, so he said, I don't care what you can do with the food, I cannot cook. And so the chef bailed out yesterday. Me, amazing chef, decided to finish writing 3,000 words, and I submitted it by about 2 o'clock. That was done, and then that was, wow, an achievement. So I now know that the following week I will know what to do. You just write and write and write, and by the end of that period you have your first draft, which is what we call the ugly draft. And if you accept that it's an ugly draft, your mindset is, hey, I'm going to write an ugly draft anyway. But if you have a mindset, oh, I'm going to write a perfect draft, you will never finish. So that's the concept of writing, in case some of you want to write a book. So that was my high this week. With that, I celebrate with one big gulp of soon kueh in one mouth. Something about food, you gotta eat it in one mouthful and activate every sensation, taste bud in all over the mouth, because the mouth is full. And then you breathe in, you get the whole thing. Some people like to take small bites. They don't really get the full flavor of the food. So for me, you need to get a full mouth.
Okay, temporary stop. I need to go to the head.
Okay. Big one or small one?
Big one.
Okay.
There's toilet paper there, right?
I check. So we took a break, and what just happened?
Took a break. bio break.
Bio.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your bio experience on the boat. Don't shake your head. It's a good experience.
Pretty normal. I'm just happy. I'm always happy when I need to take a bio break. I feel it's just part of what the body needs. It's a natural process. And it's a natural process, and I have to say you did a great job in fixing what, according to the skipper and all the boat terminology, the head. The head is where you go and do your business. All right. So that's why you need two cameras. One as a backup for the other.
Yeah. Oh, it's not very loud.
Well, it's not very loud. Yeah. It's comfortable and it meets my needs. The head of the boat. That's a new term for you. So, what happened while I was at the head?
Nothing. Hey, I want to ask you. I heard you did a radio interview recently.
What? I'm featured in Singapore Stories, and stories about real people in Singapore, and the interviewer is Eugene Low, very nice journalist, and he asked me questions about my childhood, my values, what are the ethos I live by, what do I believe in.
Ethos, does it sound like a food or something? Like Cheerios or no?
Well, put it simply, it's like
Make long story
what are
short,
the
yeah.
values that I live by? What are like the non-negotiable beliefs that I live by, and talk about and he went on to my Step Into Poetry website where I have narrated poems in there, and he took out some of them and he played it on air broadcast. I'm very grateful to what he has done in terms of publicity for me. My main message is, although I talk about empower your life, it is not like a one-stop thing. It's always a process. There'll be new challenges that come to us, and we have to question ourselves, like, what should I do now so that I take charge of my life, So to live and believe in that mission is basically also to strengthen my my muscle in empowering myself. So basically, I asked for it.
Yeah. This is the last drop of coffee we have from this flask.
Okay.
And this is
Savior.
positioned such that you can hear
Ding.
the water. Time check, we are 10:30, and usually I'll be walking on the boat outside, but because it's raining, one of the things I want to do is to clean up this area, and I can make it neater. So just to give you an indication how it looks like. So this area right now is here. These are all my tools, and I have a lot of tools, and I have a whole cabinet of boxes of equipment that I have bought, like the channel radio, VHF radio, and on this side there are a lot more tools, and I have toolbox in there, I have racks. So this section looks very untidy as compared to the main cabin section where Kris and I were sitting down having our meal.